After Big Meech shockingly sided with Rick Ross upon his release, everything seemed like a new era was beginning. But in a jaw-dropping twist, Rick Ross allegedly scammed Meech out a major sum of money, only to end up hospitalized after Meech partnered back with 50 Cent and delivered the ultimate street-level revenge, leaving 50 crying with laughter and the whole culture in chaos. The streets are talking louder than ever, and this time, it's not just about music or movies. It's about betrayal, payback, and a hospital bed that just might go down in hip-hop history. When Big Meech walked out of prison, fresh off the respect of an empire he helped build, and decades behind bars, everyone watched to see what move he'd make. Would he return his throne beside 50 Cent, who had kept the BMF legacy alive through TV, media, and a cultural renaissance? Or would he pivot somewhere unexpected? The answer came fast, and it stunned the world. Big Meech aligned himself with none other than Rick Ross. At first, it looked like a celebration. Ross, still riding the buzz from his high-budget BMF movie announcement, greeted Meech with open arms. They popped bottles, posted up at lavish estates, and even teased new business together. The streets saw the photos, the video clips, the Instagram stories, and just like that, the narrative shifted. Suddenly, it seemed like Ross was the new face of the BMF legacy. For 50 Cent, this could have been a public L. But if we've learned anything from 50 Cent, it's this: he never lets betrayal go unanswered. And neither, apparently, does Big Meech. Because behind the champagne and flashy optics, something dark was brewing. Word started circulating that Rick Ross, in his classic mogul move style, pitched Meech on a multi-million-dollar business opportunity, a joint venture allegedly tied to Ross's luxury empire, Wingstop franchises, real estate development, a cryptocurrency project, and even a new record label claiming to be BMF approved. Ross allegedly convinced Meech to channel funds from supporters and investors, and even some of his own post-prison capital into the venture. But that's where the fairy tale ends. According to sources close to the Flenory family, once the money was wired, Rick Ross disappeared. Meetings got canceled. Phones stopped ringing. Projects stalled. And most importantly, the money wasn't coming back. The deal went silent, and Meech, now freshly released and trying to rebuild his legacy, realized something horrifying. He had been played. The betrayal cut deep. This wasn't just business. This was personal. Ross had built his entire image off BMF's name, tattooed it into his lyrics, wore like a badge, and now, after finally getting close to the man behind the myth, he allegedly finessed him like a rookie. It wasn't just disrespect. It was treason. And Meech wasn't about to let that slide. This is where the game changed. The streets knew something was coming, but nobody expected what happened next. Out of nowhere, whispers began to fly that Meech had reconnected with 50 Cent. No press releases, no public apology, just silence and then the storm. 50 Cent, who remained uncharacteristically quiet during Meech's stint with Ross, suddenly started posting cryptic messages. A photo of him laughing. A caption: "Karma always delivers, sometimes with a hospital bill." Then boom, the news broke. Rick Ross was hospitalized. The reports were vague at first. Undisclosed medical emergency. Possible altercation. But the streets put together real quick. This wasn't random. This was retaliation. Sources now say that Meech didn't just cut ties. He sent a clear, physical message to Ross. Details are still emerging. But the word on the block is that Ross was confronted by Meech in his camp at a private estate meeting in Miami. The confrontation got heated, then violent, and Ross didn't walk away clean. Witnesses claim Ross was caught completely off guard. No security in reach. No time to talk his way out. He reportedly tried to defuse the situation, but Meech wasn't having it. This was street justice in real time, not some Twitter beef, not a diss track, real consequences. And the aftermath? Ross laid up in a hospital, bruised ego and all, with lawyers scrambling and PR teams spinning stories about dehydration and stress-related symptoms. 50 Cent, on the other hand, was having the time of his life. He posted memes. He laughed in interviews. He told close friends. That's what happens when you try to rewrite someone else's story without permission. Behind closed doors, 50 was gloating, and the industry felt the shift. All those who'd laughed when Ross announced his BMF film, they were now quiet. All those who doubted 50 still had the upper hand, suddenly they were deleting tweets. This wasn't just revenge, it was a reminder. The game is not just about money, flash, or power plays. It's about respect. And Rick Ross, for all his wealth and image, violated the code. Big Meech didn't survive decades in prison just to get played by a rapper looking for his next headline. And 50 Cent? He didn't build a media empire just to be outmaneuvered by a man who never even had Meech's real blessing. Now, with Meech firmly back in his corner, 50 is gearing up for what may be the final chapter in this BMF saga, a new movie project reportedly already in development, this time with Meech's full collaboration. Insiders say this next project won't just retell BMF's rise. It'll reveal the truths nobody dared speak. The betrayals, the politics, the media manipulations, and yes, the Rick Ross episode. 50 has always been a master storyteller, and with Meech officially by